down a bit. It's like we were saying, I said to Aaron yesterday, I worked it out. You would need to generate, based on the 36% reward base for Intel, you need to generate 357 bases a week on your map. Small 357 bases, one third of the reward Intel, in order to do dead end in a 10 map. You know, it can. I think that's the thing, yeah. You know, when Dead End was created, it was what, the second highest top, wasn't it?
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want.
What's going on, everybody? Good evening and welcome to Boom Talk. I've got the boys on call. What's going on, Scully?
Good morning, good afternoon, and yes, good evening, BBTFRG and friends. What's up, everybody?
We got Martin on call as well. I've just realised something's about to happen and I don't know how to fix it. You guys could hear him on the starting scene because his audio is coming through my music source. But I've just turned my music source way down because I want it in the background. Of course, now he's going to be around really low. Fingers crossed. Can you hear Martin? What's up, Martin? Say hello.
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Actually, I
Hey, you can be heard every days. That's all right. Sweet. Sweet. I was panicking. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to try and fix this on the fly. And I got no idea how you are in my music source at the moment. So, as you can see, we've got other issues tonight as well. We've only got the one face cam. Don't even ask what is going on with my OBS. It is just, it's gone to at the moment. Mr. Slowinski coming in with a $10 super chat straight off the rip. What's going on, Aaron? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for that, bro. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that.
They're feisty in chat tonight, fellas. Look at chat go. They're hungry for it tonight, fellas.
They can hear Martin already. Apparently, Tiago can hear him in Portugal. That's great.
I do apologize, fellas.
Oh, that's great. Yo, I did see that super chat there as well. Shout out to Aaron. How you doing, buddy?
I'm just going to turn you guys up so I can hear you a little bit better in my ears.
I guess before we...
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, before we dive on into our breakdown, our our discussion over Season 36, shall we start with saying hello to everybody, giving a roll call?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I can't believe it. There's actually a lot of people here. I got to scroll back up here. Well, of course, Aaron. We got BBTFRG #1 in the chat there. Massive shout out, of course, to Aaron, Martin, Beast Mode Candy as well. RTT, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the live stream today. Ryan J, we would not expect anything less, man. Thumbs up, right back at you there. Fezman, I was reading your comment to Aaron before we were actually live, and that's pretty much what this whole entire stream podcast probably will be about. It's just us not necessarily complaining, but deep diving into the flaws of Season 36. And yes, there's a lot of them.
There's one or two.
Candy, one or two. Candy, how are you? Great to see you. Hope you're well. I am well, Candy. I hope you were doing well as well. Tiago Rookie is in the chat as well. Tiago, great to see you, buddy. Welcome to the live stream. Andre44, good evening to you as well. The Blazed Beard, double sub, buddy. Right back at you. Hanka, great to see you, my man. Welcome to the live stream. We've got Junie in the chat as well. How are you doing, buddy? Shout out to Driver Dude. Of course, we've got Aaron Slowinski. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for the super chat a little bit earlier there. Drewby, what's up, dude? Welcome to the live stream. Okay, we got Tiago, Henka, we got a lot of people just throwing love back and forth here. Only me, good evening to you as well. Welcome to the live stream here. RTT, I think we called you there. Honeyset60, welcome, my friend. I believe we got a lot just kind of throwing love back and forth. Bad Boy Lita, Remy, we got Ben Washbrook, and if I did miss anybody else, I do sincerely apologize. But seriously, guys, welcome everyone.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm just going to plug the streaming game. I know we're not going to get much from it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Might as well.
Yeah, I just had to log in again. For some reason, I've got so many issues. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy how obviously, like, I mean, there's always technical difficulties that that come with streaming, but it just seems like today in general, it's just one thing after the other. Like, guys, we apologize. We tried to get the face cams up there. I know you wanted to get a good look at Martin's beautiful face. My ugly mug as well. But unfortunately, our hands are kind of tied right now.
Yeah, not sure what's going on.
Only one face cam.
Yeah, only me tonight. I do apologise, but yeah, you only got me tonight. Right, we are plugged, so that'll be in game in a sec. So yeah, tonight, guys, on the menu, we've got Season 34. I'm going to call it Season 34 Fizzle, but you guys can call it Bada Boom if you like. It's more like Bada Fizzle, or the Season of Fizzles. It's definitely the Fizzle season. Nothing unusual about technical problems? No, you know it, Ben. So yeah, I guess you guys, Martin, I like you to start. Your message to me yesterday was pretty indicative of what's going on this season. For you to message me and say, "No, let's not bother streaming. I'm sick of it. I'm done," because you can, because of how bad it is. It says a lot. It says a lot.
So yeah, obviously on Wednesday night we cracked out stream. I made 21. I made 22, which set me up for troop damage yesterday. Would have been Saturday evening. That was the plan, according to the calculator. But I got to Saturday morning. Went in to collect my chests whilst I was at work. Just kind of, I thought I'd run a few battles whilst I was on my coffee break. Stop myself from being 4-4. So that when it came to doing the stream in the evening, I was ready to go, ready to fire in that TD and go from there. And it took me 5 hours. Granted, I was at work, so I was kind of like doing a little bit on a break, and I work as a chef in the kitchen, so I've got my iPad next to me, jumping on and off that whilst doing other bits and pieces. 5 hours, 39 battles to get 8 ERs. Now, a lot of it was down to the fact that I didn't have GBE. Well, I thought it was down to the fact I didn't have GBE. I was at 5 ER without any GBE, but I just could not get a single for love nor money. I didn't have smoke, so I couldn't even rush one, use the smoky rush meta, rush to the back and collect one like that. I was having to grind them out. Eventually I I collected the required amount of, but I had to pick up the GBE node, which meant that threw my TD back by 8 hours, so I didn't get that until 2:10 this morning. It just threw everything back, and I was just so hacked off with having to just play so many games just to get ERs. And I've got instant training, and I consider myself above average warships player.
Humble flex.
And I couldn't do anything. I just could not, for love nor money, I could not. But I was just loading an opponent, and if they had the meta base, I'd try and get one. It was just literally, occasionally you'd load somebody who wasn't part of the community, who hadn't got any memos, and they'd set up some kind of mad layout of a base, and you were able to clear all 4. Or you just got lucky and found somebody without that extra DVD. But like I said to you, I think in the final text of my rant, 6 rocket launchers with 100% DBD versus, at best, riflemen or heavies with no troop health.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's not gonna,
Scully, are you seeing
they had?
Are you getting the same sort of feeling from where you are? You in like your progress of your season?
Absolutely. I mean, like Martin, he's nailed it right there. I mean, that's like the gist of it right now. Keep in mind, guys, we are only we're just finishing up the second week of the season as well. We still have 2 more weeks of this, so I do agree with what Martin has to say. I think it's absolutely frustrating, especially Aaron, when you were explaining to me the other day what Martin was going through, and that's just that's Martin. That's one guy that we know. Can you imagine how many other players in the community have that exact same, frustration, those feelings of anger, maybe not anger, but just, frustration towards the game, because it should not take you 5 hours. Let's be real. It should not take 5 hours to get one chest. There is something wrong. There is something seriously wrong with this season, if that's what it's coming down to. I don't know if the devs are just playing a cruel trick, just, one season where it's just screw you guys, kind of feels that way.
Let's go ahead and say it. Cash grab. So everyone's going to scream cash grab. They want you to buy instant training. They want you to buy diamonds. It's a cash grab. Right. Yeah, let's get that one out of the way.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, though, Aaron, because we'll touch on that briefly, and of course, I want Martin to finish what he was going on about as well, because that's the main point why we're having this podcast today for Boom Talk, is just the frustration of why this season is so bad, and mainly it's because it's impossible to collect chests. And you've also just touched on the fact, like, you can't tell me, like, there's going to be some secret agenda where Supercell is pushing IT on the players, because we have had the Ultimate Bundle back in the shop. I believe, you know, every couple days that they keep pushing it back into the shop, you know, to buy that IT for 14 days, I think for what, like $2 or $3, which is a nice incentive, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, you shouldn't be forcing players to buy instant training to play warships like that. I've got so many things to get.
Yeah, I've got IT.
Sorry, Martin, take it away.
I've got IT, and it still took me 5 hours. It still took 39 battles. IT makes no difference. It's got nothing to do with IT. It is about the balance of the tree. And this season, there's no balance. That multi-node being at 4 ER, that giving you those 2 extra rocket launchers, yeah, great. It's different. We love it. But balance it. That troop health needs to be further down the line. Or heavy bus. Or 2 extra landing craft. I don't know, but that you
Troops that don't die.
You cannot get enough. You can't get enough meat shield and DPS on the deck to get to the back. That 4 ER layout that's developed with all the ERs at the back. You just, you know, there's too much there to grind through. Driver dude, yes, 2 more craft. That would do it.
Ben Washbrook. Ben's hit it on the nail on the head for me, but the season is very depressing. But I will tell you one thing: if this was someone's first season of Warships, I'm pretty sure they would never play it again. And that right there is a pretty good point.
And they're very last at the same time.
Hope and glory. That's hilarious. Great. I found the complaints department for Boom Beach.
Just to touch a little bit more on what Martin was saying there about the 4 ER layout, with all the engine rooms being in the back. I mean, I don't recall, maybe one of the earlier seasons, but I do not recall a previous season of Warships whereby 4 engine room, you literally had almost every single defense, I believe every single defense, minus the shock launcher, all the mines, we're talking regular boom and shock mines, literally everything but the kitchen sink, with no troop health on the attacker side. Yeah, Martin, I totally agree with you. It was set up to fail. For the most part. I mean, there's a small majority that thoroughly enjoy this challenging rush, and you can also look at it as a challenging season because of how difficult it is. I believe I saw Castle Grayskull in the chat earlier. I want to give a shout out to you, buddy. You were, I think, one of the few individuals that said that you were actually thoroughly enjoying the season. So some, you know,
there are some people that are enjoying it. I mean, this is the first season that I've hit gold tier to at least 12, 15 seasons, something like that. But I'm going to throw a curveball at you, right? I was talking to somebody, Pang, earlier on in the Fun Ops channel after I shared the stream when I first scheduled it earlier, and he said, let me pull it out real quick. He kind of put it in a little bit in perspective for me. Everybody's sort of rushed into the season and everybody's trying to make the usual troops work. The usual tactics that everybody's got used to using for warships in general, everybody's got used to using them on, you know, the base race seasons where it's all about getting the ERs as fast as possible and full clearing everybody. He said, is 100% building damage and 0% troop health a bad thing? Do we want a base race every season rather than win by percentage every now and then? If I knew the season was the Fizzle season, I would have played it. Supercell are given too many carrots that people have forgotten about the stick. And I said, it's true to an extent, but non-IT players are the ones who suffer on these seasons. You know, thinking, you know, the bigger picture about the player base and player experience and all that sort of type of stuff. And he said, does TGM not still clear? And straight away I thought to myself, do you know what? He's actually right. There are troop combos available that would easily full clear these bases, even without troop health. But I think most people are so stuck in their ways and they've gone for the usual troops that usually work best and are usually the meta. But because the tech tree is the way it is, it's thrown a bit of a curveball and it's caught a lot of people out, I think. Would you agree with that?
For me,
Sorry, Martin, you first, bud. You first.
There's 2 elements to that. Yes, I agree in the sense that the Fizzle meta is different and it's good. I think that the that would, that adds something different to it. To win, I think even in Sugar Shit we were discussing, it's going to be a win by percentage this season, and we have absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I mean, I've won battles where I've fizzled slower than somebody else. We've had the same damage percentage and everything. That's not my issue. Is literally the ability to get that ER, to get the chests to progress. Would TGM clear? I'm not entirely convinced. 100%. Defensive building damage coming in from 6 strategically placed rocket launchers. You are going to need smoke. You are going to need both GBE nodes. You're going to need shots.
But the tech is available. By this point now, the tech is available.
Absolutely.
That tech is available, though. Yes.
But what it prevents you is completing the tech tree, because there is not enough chests. Unless you make Legendary on day 5 or Diamond on day 1, there is not enough chests available, not enough keys and tokens available in a 28-day season to complete the tech tree. And I think a lot of people look to do that. That's how they start out, is to complete the tech tree.
Yeah, I just think that he kind of had a point for me. What do you think, Skull?
Well, we missed. There's been a lot of good comments coming in the chat right
There's
there.
a lot. Yeah, it's going really quick.
Yeah, it is. Shout out to all you guys, honestly, bringing up some good points here. Driver Dude mentioned something a little bit earlier. I just want to read his message from earlier there. This is just silly. Supercell has had 36 seasons of warships under their belt. This is unacceptable. And again, Driver, a majority will agree with you on that. I just wanted to follow up with that right there. Falcor, welcome as well. So going to what Pang was saying there about this being a challenging season, and Supercell essentially giving us what was the analogy? Too many carrots, not enough. Too many carrots, not enough sticks.
Too many people have gotten used to too many carrots and not enough stick.
Yeah, so you know what? So it's pretty much Supercell just giving us handouts when it comes to
making it too easy.
Previous seasons of Warship, where we've become accustomed to the heavy rush, where we know that, okay, if you get the heavies, you get brick, or you get a hero, you get smoke, or whatever,
or heavy chopper bombardier, all that sort of stuff. Seekers,
you can rush these bases in a minute, get the win. So it's pretty interesting just to see it from the other point of view, where you've actually got players that are looking at it from a different perspective. And ironically, as a Warship player myself that has played all 36 seasons of Warships, I can recall the earlier season. Season 2 was an absolute nightmare. That was an absolute nightmare in the best way possible, because this was before the introduction of bombardiers, before the introduction of seekers, before the heavy and the rocket chopper, where it literally came right down to either warrior rushes, which resulted on getting ERs and winning on damage, which is what we are experiencing right now, or the very underrated but very, very good CHZ combo, the cheese, cryo, heavy, Zuka. That was a dominant meta in Season 2 because it was a fizzle season. And again, that was our best option in order to essentially either get the full clear or as best as we could. So I kind of agree with Pang, which is weird because I also do agree with the majority of the community. It's a different kind of season. It's a challenge. He's just looked at it differently to how the typical Warship player. How many people in chat have looked at this season and thought, right, there's no troop health, there's 100% building damage. Things are going to suck. It's going to be fizzle season. So let's go with troops that are a bit more tanky and can push in a bit more. Something like Scorcher bombers or TBM, stuff like that. Crab style loadouts that are designed, and tailored for pushing deep into bases. Those sort of loadouts, whilst they would be very slow, they would, I think, more often than not, full clear, or at least get a hell of a lot more damage done than what the heavy rush or even the smoky heavy Zuka hits and things like that.
You look where that tech is in the tree. You've got Scorchers at 6 ER, Bullet at 6 ER, heavy choppers after 6 ER, even the cryos, even Cryoneers, which would help a bunch right now. They're all the way up in 7.
Yeah, I get that.
all
Yeah.
the way up in 7. You know, I get where Pang's coming from, and I agree. I like, you know, people in the chat. I've just been scrolling through the chat, and people saying that they like the fact that it's different. They like the fizzle. They like the challenge. They like that, and I do. I'm enjoying it. What I'm not enjoying is having to spend so much of my life just to stop myself going 4-4. Because getting ERs is maybe it was just me with bad timing yesterday morning. Maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe it's picking your times as much as anything else. But like I said, you want to progress, you want to keep moving, even if it is at a slow and steady pace.
You want to feel you want to at least feel like you're progressing and making progress. Yeah.
Well, yes, but you've got to see progress, and to see progress is collecting chests. So when you go into your warship in the morning and you see yourself, you've got two of 4 chests, and you've got 50 minutes until you go 3 of 4. You kind of think, well, that's all right. I can jump on, do 3 or 4 battles, get a chest, and then I haven't got to worry about it till I've got a window later in the day when I can play the game, get on and push. But when you can't do that, when you can't even keep the chest timer ticking because you can't collect ERs in the window that you allot yourself, that's when it just goes a little bit over the line for me. And that's what happened to me yesterday. That's what instigated the gripe to get, when I had that whinge at you.
Yeah. I've just put a poll in chat. I'm gonna let it run for the duration of the stream, and we'll see it at the end. So the question is, would you prefer to be able to full clear, as in base race, more often than fizzle like you do now, like on this season? So do you prefer the seasons where you can full clear and it's a base race, or do you like how it is right now, where it's all about doing as much damage as possible and not always getting all the engines? The fizzle, more fizzly seasons like this one is. Cast your votes. Let's see.
So I like the mix of the two, and it's good to have a season like this. But I just think this season they've just gone.
I think a season somewhere in the middle where the majority of bases you can, you fizzle on, but at the same time you can get a good amount of bases where you can full clear. Do you know what I mean? So a balance between the two. But I don't think that's possible in the format that Warships is in right now.
So those are some really good points right now. So now I'm wondering, fellas, so considering that this is a 4-week season and we're just running into and wrapping up, 2 weeks, the halfway point, Jess has actually brought up a good comment in the chat from earlier where he said right now at 5 engine room, about to be 6 engine room, everyone is full clearing roughly 100% or about 95% of the time. So does that mean that, is it just 4 ER? Is that death trap?
Yeah.
Will things get better after 4 ER? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
Is it just 4 ER?
I think it's usually, to be fair, it is usually just like 1, maybe 2 ER levels that are particularly dirty, isn't they, in this season where it gets a bit
to balance my whinge out from yesterday, I eventually picked up troop damage last night, and I don't normally do it, but I wanted to take advantage of it, and I set an alarm. I got my troop damage. I ranked up to mid 22 on I think I won maybe 9 out of 11 battles and jumped from just about staying in diamond to mid 22 before I had to kind of crash and get some sleep again. So yeah, there is light there. I was, it was easy. I full cleared most bases, certainly getting 3 and 4 ERs. And it's gone back to being what it should be now, that fizzle meta. But for me, there was a period of 24, 36 hours where I could not pick up an ER. And as a daily warship player, it was just getting really, really frustrating. Wanting to do a stream last night, but literally knowing that if I'd have sat down and done a stream last night, it would have just been full fizzle after full fizzle after full fizzle.
We got an Ob Destroy sighting in chat. What's going on?
Just
Ob?
saying that.
It's more random if people fizzle or not. The base race seasons needed change. The win design is measured by takedown, time, and destruction. This is warships. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is warships. Welcome, Op Destroy.
What's going on, Op Theory? What's going on?
How you
bro?
doing, buddy? I also just want to read a quick comment from Kegmeister a little bit earlier up there.
Okay.
You could watch Jess's video where he shows how to clear fours. Kegmeister, yeah, Jess A has been killing it this season. B has been uploading like phenomenal warships content this season as well. And I know Jess is also in the chat, but I'm pretty sure that he went 5 ER like a few days ago. Like I think he's been out of 4 ER for a while. Like 4 ER right now is literally it's everything. Everything. So I'm not sure if Jess was hitting them as dirty as they are now, but you are correct. I saw that video too. He was smashing those 4 ERs, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just going to say hi to the guys who just jumping in. We've got Bad Boy Leader, we've got McLovin, there's Honey Set. There's a few names in there I haven't seen so far tonight. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming in, tuning in. Much appreciated.
Everyone, yeah, this is great.
Don't forget to smash that like, help us get in the old algorithm. Sorry about the all the widgets and stuff that are not working. The more I'm looking at tonight's stream, thinking that's not working, and that's not working, and that's not working. None of my widgets are working. My tip ticker's not scrolling. It's all broke. But just ignore it. I'll fix it for next time.
Just noticed Commander Doom's commented in Sugar Ship. Well, Heavy Chopper is wonderful, but not a lot of opponents. So he looks like he's made the promised land.
Does Doom have Heavy Chopper already?
He's not saying that he's got it, but the comment, as I said, the comment is, well, Heavy Chopper is wonderful, but not a lot of opponents. So reading between the lines, it would seem that yes, he's made it to Heavy Chopper.
In 2 weeks' time, this will all be forgotten about. Yep, I 100% agree, Severance.
I faced a 6 ER base last night, and the guy that I had mortars, cannons, mines and shock mines on deck, and that was it. I literally just dropped 8 boats of Gramps and just shocked the Doom cannon. That was the only other thing he had was a Doom cannon.
I just want to add in here as well. First off, RTT, never terminate the Doom cannon. It is an absolutely crucial prototype in warships.
Yep.
And number 2, just I going back to what Op Destroy said, because that's really kind of hitting me right now.
Yep.
And going back to what Pang was saying, we've literally been cuddled for warships for so freaking long that, you know, the second, and again, somebody like me who's played 36 season, who remembers what it was like to, you know, the Fizzle seasons back in, you know, season 1, season 2, Op is right, you know, Pang is right, you know, this is warships. Maybe, you know, there could be a handful of players that have only been playing for the last, let's say, like, you know, 10 seasons, where the last 10 seasons have been heavy rush seasons, where, you know, when you go back even further to some of the OG seasons, it's straight up Fizzle season. So yeah, we've been hugged and we've been cuddled, and we might have even been kissed on the forehead.
And now we've actually got a real season of warships of how it kind of should be. Yeah, where it is a bit of a challenge and you're not getting every single ER, every single battle. You know, I kind of dig it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of dig it. At 2 ER, when the meta was to line all of your flamethrowers and the mortars up right at the top of the landing, and then everybody was just fizzling right there on the beach. I love that, because the challenge of getting through that, you know, the satisfaction of getting through that you know, that defensive strategy and then taking their ERs down, taking them both, knowing that chances are most of their opponents are fizzling and they're getting, you know, mostly wins, and you come along and you blow their win streak. You know, you're taking out loads of people's win streaks with things like it's really satisfying gameplay, you know. But Op Destroy's just said in chat, you go back. To be honest, I like the change. Yeah, it's tough, but it's ultimately up to our tech decisions. I feel horribly bad for the non-IT players. Other than that, I'm content with the season. Yeah, exactly. This is it. It's what I was saying to you, what it might, about ultimately the bigger picture, putting our own personal opinions to one side. Bigger picture of the player base is player experience. For the non-IT players, it's going to suck. But that's their choice to play with non-IT. That's part of the game. You've got to wait for troops to reload. It doesn't matter whether it's part of warships, whether it's operations, or whether you're just map clearing. You lose your troops, you have to wait for them to reload. That's just how it is.
reading chat, listening to you, listen to what you said, Pang said,
Yep.
reading chat now. It's actually taking me back to like Boom Beach before HQ 22.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going back, Martin.
Way back when.
When you'd get opponents on your map who you'd have to swap out because their base layout was too good for you to be able to beat. When ops were a challenge, when it wasn't just a question of landing 8 boats of double scorchers, and you know what you said a minute ago about being cuddled and kissed through the.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true of the entire game right
I do.
now?
I 100% believe that. Yep.
Actually, this season is kind of it's just reminded me of what
Reminiscent of what Boom Beach used to be.
Boom Beach was when it was a challenge.
Everybody's got
which is why-
used to the forced close culture of Boom Beach. Just drop troops and expect them to do it for you culture of Boom Beach, you know?
You know, the whole reason that we kind of fell in love with it in the first place, I suppose, was because you had to think on the hoof. You had to get those flares out. You had to get that shock down.
Yep.
You know, I was to say critters, but they weren't even around, were they?
Nope.
No, I don't think they were.
You know, you had to kind of think on the hoof, and
I mean, I get it, yeah. I mean, but
So,
honestly, it wasn't
yeah.
until I was talking to, I had that little back and forth with Pang in Fun Ops earlier, that it sort of went and clicked in my mind of taking me back to that point, to that mentality of, oh my God, he's right. You know, the game is too easy. We all moan that the game's too easy and it needs to be more of a challenge. And then as soon as it is more of a challenge, here we are all moaning about it. You can't, you know, the dev team can't win in that respect.
As much as I hate to say it, Pang's actually spot on.
Yeah,
I'd never
don't let
say
him.
it to his face.
Guys, don't tell
Not
Pang
saying-
I said that, but he is right.
not-
You probably
not
shouldn't have
saying
said
it in
that live, Martin.
He's in
Well,
chat
he's
as
not-
well. He's
Hey,
just
shout
going to
out
be going.
I know he's in chat. Shout out to Pang. He's awesome.
Oh, in which case, no, he hasn't got a clue what he's talking. I didn't realise he was there.
His head's going to be swelling.
So, I mean,
I enjoyed
going
your
back-
Hammy HQ video there. Only me. I tell you what, I was telling Scully earlier, that Hammy HQ video is absolutely blown my socks off. I can't believe how well that little short's doing. Within 6 hours, 1,000 views. Crazy.
Shorts are severely underrated.
It's
I mean, a
unreal.
lot of people are pushing them, but yeah.
Right now, it is on. It's on 1,100 views right now. It's unreal. I can't believe. I don't know why that one's blown up so much as it has. Just it's a nothing video. Do you know what I mean? Sure.
Sometimes they just work out for the best.
Yeah.
Take it and run, my friend. Take it and run.
The algorithm loves what the algorithm loves, and the way you make him love
okay.
stuff is by smashing that like button, you guys. Smash that
Okay,
like
so
button.
the
Let's get
ironic
this stream
part-
blowing up as well.
So then
Okay.
let's see if we can all unanimously kind of agree or disagree here, because Kegmeister in the chat right there is like, okay, so it's unanimous. This is a great season.
But the poll is 55-45 in favor of the base race seasons at the moment.
Are we coming to an agreement here, gentlemen, that this actually is a good season? Like, has this season been evil genius this whole entire time?
I think it
where,
has.
like, secretly, you know, we're just complaining, we're whining, you know, we're everything, until we get to that point where we kind of can sit back and, you know, reminisce, you know, on previous seasons, which we're doing right now, where we're just like, well, wait a minute, look how easy we've had it. Now we get a hard season, and now, you know, you're right, there is no pleasing the Boom Beach player.
No.
I don't know if it's for every gamer in their gaming community, but it definitely seems like there's absolutely no pleasing the Boom Beach player.
No, this is absolutely true. It doesn't matter in FT Goggy. To be fair, this season is painful whether you've got IT or not. It's exactly the point. Everybody is suffering the same, whether that be, you know, you're suffering with not being able to get your chest as fast as usual because you got to wait for troops to reload because you don't have instant training, or you're suffering because it's taking you longer to get chests because it's taking you God knows how many battles to get the ERs you need. Everybody's in the same boat, kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, you know, the non-IT players should suffer it because the rest of us are enjoying it, because you know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen on the other. It's all about, you know, balance and being fair. You know, I think we've had too many seasons where, you know, you didn't need instant training as such, and it wasn't as bad, and you could get ERs every single battle. I think too many seasons like that is made everyone a bit moist. Do you know what I mean? It's made everyone a bit wet. You know, it's just
it definitely has. It definitely has.
I think Pang's hit the nail on the head for me. 100%.
Got Monkey sighting in the chat.
What's going on, Monkey? On the topic of Monkey, Captain Blackadder was a minute ago saying, is that the monkey I just spotted because Candy just brought me a drink in?
Charming.
So yeah, so Cake Master in chat is in my opinion, the ideal season would be to have things progressively harder as the number of engine rooms increase. Start is fairly easy, and when you get to 70, people only able to get 3. That's a good point. That's, you know, being able to balance a season like that where, you know, as you add ERs, the difficulty, you know, the difficulty increases with progression. Kind of makes sense, right? I think
no, it definitely does make sense.
I'm not sure how they would do that, but
let's kind of go back and look at one of the main reasons why we are complaining about this season, and I think it mainly has to do with the fact that just touching on Bad Boy Lita's comment, is that there's only one troop health node, and it's pushed after 7th engine room. Your average player is not going to go 7 ER.
That on its own, that right there on its own is just ridiculous. Did they not learn from the last time they didn't give us any troop health until stupidly long in the tech tree? That caused nothing but problems as well that season.
So I believe. I mean, looking at this is a great topic of conversation because, like, bringing up Hank's point of view, Martin's point of view from the beginning of the stream, Op Destroy's view, Driver Dudes, Keg Mine. There's so many like incredible views, ways to look at this, and like I'm seeing it from everyone's perspective, and looking at it again from a non-IT player that is a casual Warship player that will not be going 7 engine room. Yeah, I would be complaining about this season until the cows come home. But as a competitive Warship player that has played 36 seasons, that buys instant training, it's good to also look at it like we're finally getting a challenging season, because we've been given so many easy ones, for so long.
Yep.
So like now it's just like I'm seeing it from like all points of view, and it's like which one is right? Are they all right? Which one is right?
I think the one that's right is the one that you go with. It's in Warships is highly subjective. You either love it or you hate it. You don't like the season, you do like the season. There is no right or wrong answer as such. GG's Fez, I know how frustrated you were getting earlier. He's just said 6 wins now and just broke through to rank 20. He messaged me earlier saying...
What up, Fez?
He messaged me earlier saying he was super frustrated. He was getting pissed off with the season because he couldn't break into rank 20. He's done it. GG's Fez.
Congratulations,
I think everybody's hit a window... Everybody's hit a wall like that. I think if I'm sure you have, Scully. I certainly know I have. Fezman there, and I've seen other people talking about. I think everybody's hit a wall somewhere in their progression this season. And it is frustrating, and you do want to, and that, I suppose that's what makes the community what it is, because you've got mates there who understand you.
Say that again, Martin. I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Try explaining to your wife about why you're so frustrated with this only a game this season. And it's great that you've got the community there who do understand why it's so bloody frustrating. But no, I think everybody's probably hit a window. I was just looking at the tree now, and maybe switching Bullet and Kavan might have been a help. Might have been
maybe
a more balanced. Possibly.
For the record, McLovin, I actually agree with you. I think people do complain, about and dwell on the non-IT the non-IT factor to it. But with these Boom Talk streams, we've got to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is, from Supercell's point of view, it's about player experience, overall player experience. And I'm getting the feeling that generally, overall, people in the chat are probably more happy with the season than there are. I think people's opinions, or people's view of the players' opinion gets clouded because you see lots of people complaining but you don't see as many people sort of saying I enjoy it publicly on the forums and stuff, you know. So it always looks like there's loads of people who are more angry with the game and more upset with it, when actually there's probably just as many, if not more, players who are more than happy with it how it is and are really enjoying the season. It's just they don't feel the need to take to the socials and rant about it, like, you know. I don't know.
No, Aaron, that's a great point. It comes, like you said it earlier, this game is very subjective. You play this game for, you know, for your own reasons. Just like, you know, Warships in Boom Beach will play it for our own reasons. We'll play it because we're competitive. We'll play it because we're casual. We'll play it because we want the intel for the task force. You know, we'll play it for whatever reason. So, you know, for whatever reason we're playing this game, you know, we're still gonna find a reason to complain about it. And it seems like, okay, you know, for the most part, we're complaining because of the lack of troop health. You know, we're going around the revolving door on that right there. But now just kind of seeing the bigger picture here, yeah, honestly, like I'm kind of changing my perspective a little bit. You know,
Cap's got an interesting point. He says, I feel it's off-putting for people like me who don't grind for hours. I play to clear my chest and aim for diamond each season. I don't have time to play 2 or 3 hours a day. That is a really, really good point, because I'm exactly the same.
You're playing 2-3 hours a day. You're competitive, or you're a content creator. Like seriously.
Yeah. I mean, as a content creator, I still don't play that long. For me to stream Warships, I've struggled to play Warships on stream for so long, because normally I would literally just play to get my chests, and that's that. Sometimes I play to do like a chest, not even all of my chests, just 1, maybe 2, and then I'm done. So for a season where you've got to do 50 battles to get 1 chest, that right there is not happening for those casual players who play like that. It's those players who are going to be put off the most, for sure. Yeah, no worries, up. No worries, but it's just a thought, you know. I do imagine Supercell's analytics bombed this season because a lot of parks or didn't play. It's why there isn't a lot. That's why there isn't a lot of star inflation. Maybe. It's a shame.
Again,
Aaron reached Glod. Yeah, I got the gold point. I parked it rank 16, mate. Did that on the last stream.
Again, we're only at the halfway point of the season. Like, I mean, there's still 14 days left of this.
I know.
This is where, like,
it feels like this season has gone on forever, doesn't it? Does it not feel like it's gone on for a really long time already?
It feels like that because it's taking so long to get chests. Like, it is a chore. I think we can all agree that it is a chore to get chests, which is prolonging the player experience, you know? Yes, you know, it almost feels like work when you're playing a game. And when it starts to feel like that, it drags on, and you tend to lose a little interest and motivation. And I think that might be happening with some players as well.
You think that another reason is the fact that we've had 2 28-day seasons, such quick succession.
Maybe.
Was the last season 28 days?
No, last one was 21, and then it was 28 before that, wasn't it?
Okay, so they went 28, 21, and then back to 28.
Yeah.
Like we currently still have 14 days and 12 hours left. That's still more than half the amount of time left in the season.
It's 2/3 of a normal, what we consider to be. We consider a normal season 3 weeks. I mean, if you remember, I don't know. I was watching Aaron's Memory Lane video again the other day, and when Drew first announced Warships, he said that it would be based on seasons that would last 2 to 3 months.
That's right. The original plan was that. Yeah, that was the original plan. But when they did the 3-month season, it was such a flop because no one had the stamina to play the same season for 3 months. It was terrible.
You know what? I might have to go back and rewatch some of my streams from season 3 just to get. I can't even remember how many keys and tokens.
It wasn't a lot. It was something like 8 keys and 10 keys.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it was something abysmal like that.
Just quickly,
Destroy just popped a very quick comment through. Yes, it's a mobile game, but a different way to play one. The tech tree system is unique. What other mobile game has a system like this?
I'm sure if we went digging, you find one. Like, I mean, tech trees are out there. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not a new concept for a game. The way Boom Beach implements it for warships is unique.
That's the unique bit, is the fact that you get a different tech tree. It's like the game that
yes, I agree with
Captain
you guys,
Nolan's playing. What was that game?
Rise of Kingdoms.
Intrinsically that has a tech tree.
Yes,
but it doesn't change. It's static, and it's
Yeah.
there for the duration of the game, and you will complete it when you complete it in your own time. Whereas this tree, you really have to, with warships, you really have to pick and choose what you're going to open, what you're not going to open. I'm just sat looking now with the calculator, working out if I were to get tanks, medics, Grens, could I change my season to a TGM meta just for science to see how it does, based on what Pang said earlier?
Honestly, with the amount of time left, there's nothing to lose. You might as well.
I know. I'm thinking of doing it. I've got 3 accounts that kind of like.
Maybe you should do it just for science.
I'm seriously thinking about doing it.
For science.
Seriously thinking about changing one of them to a TBGM meta.
Something like that, yeah. What's going on, Ray? Welcome to the stream. Mike Wells, what's going on, mate? Welcome to the stream. Tiago, what's going on? There was a comment I wanted to touch on. Something about does this season make it pay to win? No, because even with instant training, you're still not getting ERs as fast as you would like. But then warships is always pay to win on the other side of the coin, because if you want to go for leaderboards, then you need to grind battles, and you can't do that without instant training. So
I just want to touch on Tattered Prince's comment right there. What's the point of TGM, tanks, Grens, medics, when Rifle Bombardier can already full clear? You are correct. Rifle Bombardier can full clear, but at the same time too, Rifle Bombardier can fizzle just as bad. Rifle
Bombardier is it's also a very high fatality troop combo. If players again going back to the whole instant training thing, players who don't have instant training might get to do like 4 or 5 battles before they need to replenish all of their warship troops. Whereas with TBM, you don't lose as many troops, and you probably be able to do more battles with one complete warship loadout.
I just
pay
found
to
out
play. That's exactly it. Of the show, pay to play. 100%.
You know what? Let's be real. Literally, most games out there nowadays are pay to play. If you are playing competitively in a mobile game, I'm sure. I don't know if it's the same for console or for PC, but I'm sure it could be. But yeah, generally the game will have an in-game currency, which you'll buy that in-game currency to then use that in-game currency for either power-ups or. In this case, instant training, or I mean, let's be real.
I think one of the biggest differences with a PC or a console game, you're shelling out sort of £60. I don't know what it is in America, Canada. The thick end of $100, I would imagine, for the game in the first instance.
Yeah.
What you got to remember with mobile games is they're free. It's not like a.
But the savage thing about a mobile game being free, let's be real. I mean, I have no shame in saying this. I've probably spent thousands of dollars on this game on instant training and diamonds. Whereas if I were to spend that £60 on a game, I would still have that game for £60 and not be spending any more money. Whereas over the period of let's say 5-6 years, I've dropped let's say $2,000-$3,000 on this game for diamonds and instant training. Easily. Especially before the days of instant training, where OG players bought diamonds.
Yeah, but isn't that the global business model now? You only got to look at things like Spotify, Amazon, YouTube. It's all monthly subscriptions. It's a global business model.
You said about with console games and that you spend out the thick end of $100 or whatever to get the game, and that's true. But also now the whole gacha style game now is taking over. The whole loot box thing, tech trees, unlocks, skins, microtransactions in every which way. Even after you spend money on a game, there might be something else in game that you got to spend money on to to buy skins or buy power ups or extra content in the game, like extra downloads and things like that. all
Ops
that sort of
nailed
thing.
it, man.
So even if you're paying $100 on a game, you might still then have to pay more to be competitive in said game after you pay for it. With console games nowadays, whereas back in the day you didn't have that. Before the days of online play, like the MMORPG style games, before those days of being like the online community, you'd pay for the game and you play the game, and that'd be it. It'd be you could play like multiplayer locally on your console. But since nowadays I've expanded into like the online sphere, that's where the massive side of multiplayer games comes into it. And the gacha loot boxes and in-app purchases and all that sort of thing is where they're making the money now. That's why a lot of games are free. Even console games and PC games. Look at Call of Duty, games like that. Yeah, massive AAA titles that are free. You can literally go online now and download the latest Call of Duty for free, completely for free, and play competitively.
Polecat has just said there, it's kind of harsh that it's got to a point that I had to pay to progress, but it was only $1, and now I feel I'm hooked. And that's exactly that is exactly the idea, isn't it? That
giving you a taste.
They tease us with a little taste of it, and then they take it away, and then you start forking out the full price.
Yeah.
It comes down to that, you can play golf that costs £10 a round, and if you have 5 rounds a month, that's £50 a round. £50 a month. You can have all sorts of hobbies, can't you? Pastimes, etc.
Yeah. That's really interesting you say that.
Choose to spend your money on.
He just said, it was at the start of my content creating. I feel I needed to catch up to make content. That was years ago. That's really interesting you see that, because I almost feel the opposite now, that you need a lower level account to create content, because all the content's been created for Boom Beach. In terms of everything's already been done. It's so hard to be original, to like create original content for Boom Beach. It is really difficult, because everything's already been done. Operation hits. You look online, there's a video for every single operation hit, for every single variation of every single layout. It's all done, it's all out there. It's...
Op, you're not wrong. It's a good point. I think
it's
Aaron's
a good
just
point.
sharing a different
it's a good point.
It's a good point.
I kind of look at it like on the flip side now, that there's a lot of people who like to watch and absorb the lower level gameplay. I don't know what it is. I always get asked for, HQ 10, 11, 12 gameplay videos. And that.
But this is what we said when we've been out fishing, isn't it? That you give the younger or the newer players content, show the newer players how to play the game, get stuck into it, help them through that level. Is it level 20 wall?
There's a VP wall.
It's about I think it's about HQ 14, isn't it? When you get smoke, help them through that wall, and then again that wall at HQ 20, I think it is. Help them through that wall. Help them to become max players, and that's when the game. XP 40 to 50 wall. Yeah, exactly, Pang. Help them through that wall, get them to the max level, and then that then I think is, once you're maxed, that's when you really get to see the benefit of having IT, of being able to jump into fun ops, task forces, all hits live, ops ladder tournament, all these things that we all these things that we run as extra things. You get to feel the benefit of that. I know
that's a good point. That's a good point, actually. Touching on that is bringing it back to warships again. Is the players who are reaching HQ 10 for the first time players reaching HQ 10 are very inexperienced at the game. By HQ 10, you're still a noob. You don't know nothing about the game. You don't know nothing about the strategies. You don't know nothing about the mechanics. You are still very fresh into the game at HQ 10. You can get to HQ 10 within 3 or 4 days of downloading your first account, So to then be thrown in the deep end of warships, where a lot of the high-end gameplay strategies are implemented at low-end warships, that right there equals back, is a frustrating point for new players. It's got to be, for not understanding how those strategies play out. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but isn't that why we have the star renewal system that we have, to keep those high level players away from the fresh new players?
No, because it's based on VP and not really level. I mean, like, how many max level players are down in, like, the low VP? And that's nothing against the player. It's just you get to a point where you max out your account and then, just don't clear.
I mean, like in warships, people who are reaching HQ 10 for the first time,
My bad.
who are then getting access to warships for the first time. You might be a fresh, brand new level 10 player, HQ 10 player, open warships and go on a massive win streak and find yourself in Iron Tier, where you're coming across semi-developed layouts and attack strategies that are being developed. You wouldn't understand how any of that stuff works as a brand new player. So right there, that's a friction point for those new players, to create frustration in those players with warships very early. I think warships shouldn't be unlocked as early as HQ10. I think it should be a little later.
Like Severance says, this is why we watch streaming, to get the point of things.
Hope and glory, Scully, pay attention.
But yeah, that's the idea. That is the idea behind us doing what, as creators, behind doing what we do, to show people, how we're doing it. It might, whether it's right or wrong, good or bad.
Yeah.
And maybe I should have streamed last night just to show everyone that you're not the only ones that can't get an ER. But I was so frustrated I couldn't. It wouldn't have been a pleasant stream.
See, Fred's got it. See, that's how you get noobs posting on the channel because they lost and don't get it.
I'll give you guys a funny example of that. Like yesterday, for my warship stream, I think I ended up going for just over 5 hours. I played on my one account, Skull Crusher, and literally for those 5 hours, I went from low rank 20 to low to mid rank 21. So I did hit diamond. But the point that I'm getting at here is, where the hell was it? Where I literally just lost my train of thought here. What were we just talking about prior to that, fellas?
The low-level warship coming into warships as a HQ10.
All right, Jesus, it's gonna come back to me. Never mind. Apparently, it wasn't that important.
Moving on. What's going on, Lord Cass? Welcome to the stream. I've played for 7 or 8 years, and I love it. Obviously, if I came across this game now for the first time, I'd never have played. You think? I think the game's loads better now than what it was 7 or 8 years ago. Christ,
it's so much different now.
Whole lot better.
I mean, can you imagine if, like, all the OG content creators, like, came back, like, Nick at Night, or, Reversal, Ben Tim, Savage Warrior, Soul Raktos, I always butcher his name, and they probably, I don't even think that we had flying troops at the time.
No. Let's flip that. Let's flip that comment and say, if you were to download a brand new mobile game today, and it looked like Boom Beach did 7 or 8 years ago, would you play it? Hell no. No. You wouldn't play that if you downloaded that today. You delete that trash. You delete that trash faster than your fingers can do it.
All right, I have to say this now because now it's right there. Okay, so we were talking about how, like, I streamed yesterday for 5 hours playing on the one account, and I was heavy rushing, and then I went to my Discord and I was complaining how complaining / venting, but I was complaining / venting how I streamed for 5 hours, and during those 5 hours of streaming, I didn't get a single full clear. I was winning on percentage, I was winning on fizzling, and then Grenz 101, he's not in the chat, but I do want to give a massive shout out to Grenz 101, literally just pushed back with the funniest response ever. And he was like, well, that's because you were heavy rushing. And in response to that, I mean, he's right. If I was to use Smooka, smoke with heavy Zuka and get it to the back, I saw some incredible full clears on 4 ERs that way, but I was like, Grenz is right, I didn't get any full clears is because I was stubborn and I was just sticking to heavy rushing, and I was okay with just getting 2 engine rooms. So yeah, you've got to sometimes just change your mindset when it comes to the game as well.
Yeah, that sort of circles back to what we were saying about Pang, is everybody's rushed in and gone with the strategies that have worked for so many seasons with base racing to get all of the ERs as fast as you can, and that's just not going to work on a season with no troop health and 100% building damage. You need to think for longevity, for troop combos that aren't going to fizzle like butter in the sun. And maybe TBM, those type of loadouts, something stronger than standard heavy rush is different from the norm, which would be better for these sort of seasons. That's why rocket choppers have been clutch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
strat.
McLovin. It comes back to, if something isn't working, then, change it.
Yeah.
As a heavy rush player, if I'm like, okay, if this isn't working, I have to get Kavan and Bombas. I'm like, all right, that's 42 tokens for Kavan. That might be another 34 or whatever for Bombas. That's like 2 days of chest collecting that'll hold me even back further from going 5 engine. I mean, again, it comes down to you as the player and the decisions you make and just how
100%.
subjective this game is.
Yep.
Because
I think if you're going to play Warships, I think you have to be content with knowing, or at least be prepared to make mistakes and learn the hard way. Because if you're not prepared to do that, if you're not prepared to say to yourself, right, okay, I screwed up, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Look back on the season with a bit of hindsight, like we are now, and think, actually, had I done this or had I done that, I'd be better. That's how you grow as a player, period. That's how you grow as a player. That's how you grow at anything in life.
How you grow as a person.
Yeah, But I think a lot of Warship players this season are so stuck in their ways of heavy rush and, all that kind of stuff that it's not worked for them this season, and it's pissed them off. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, just I have to touch on Severin's comment. That was lucky. I did one battle with level 1 rocket choppers, and they ended up winning it for me. It's not going to be the case for everybody, and if you are using rocket choppers, I highly recommend that you do upgrade them.
Yeah, for sure. What am I drinking? It's cherries and berries squash.
That sounds good, man.
It is
like
good.
that.
It is good. I've drank probably 6 or 7 pints of this today. Is that bloody hot?
Yeah, Michael Wells, I think we agreed on the tanks. We were talking about the tanks TGM being potentially being an option, but there's just way too many single shot. I think we're up to 6 cannons, 7 cannons, 4 boom cannons, a doom cannon, an absolute death sentence for tanks unless you can manage it precisely 100% perfectly with shocks and critters.
Doesn't matter what troops you have at 4 ER. If you can get 2 ERs in one hit, you're doing very well.
Yeah.
That was my mentality. That was my mentality on stream yesterday. Just get 2 engine rings.
That's the thing.
That was my thing really yesterday, was the fact that it wasn't the fact that I was losing, it was the fact that I couldn't get an ER because of the meta that I'd chosen. I just couldn't, I had no smoke. I just couldn't clear through to the back to get an ER to help me move on. In the end, I suppose it was the stubborn streamer syndrome that just said.
I think we're saying
does exist.
I think
it is a real thing.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to go back for GBE because I wanted troop damage at 6 o'clock so that I could go live with it yesterday with the troop damage yesterday evening, when all along the answer would have been to have got the GBE the day before when I hit 22, because the GBE would have pushed me on to 23. And you can always look back with hindsight and say, if I'd have done this, if I'd have.
You know, we're ultimately saying, sort of coming down to the final, the bottom line of it all really is,
I suck.
Ultimately, it comes down to your decisions and what you do this season, rather than what the game does with the game. If you know what I mean, rather than what Supercell does with the game, so to speak. Which is kind of right. I just think we've all been, to go back to what Pang said, cuddled and wrapped in cotton wool for far too long. We've had it too easy for too long, and now it's actually a challenge and it's a bit more grindy, bit more the way Boom Beach used to be and the way Boom Beach should be. People don't like it.
It'll be interesting if we come back and do another Boom Talk in a fortnight when the season's finished, or all but finished.
Yeah.
Whether we do it on the Sunday or whether we do it on the Monday actually after the and see how people feel having had this chat now, having given people, because I'm thinking maybe 70R, maybe dirty up at 6, and just kind of thinking that maybe we need to kind of look at the tree a different manner, to see how people's seasons have panned out, and with taking on board what we've discussed.
Christian's just said, in the end of the day, I think it shouldn't be too easy, nor should it be too hard. That 70% of players can't take the chance at all, which stops some people playing. Which is right. It shouldn't be so hard that you can't progress, but it shouldn't be too easy that you can just full wipe every single person, every single battle. Because that's, it's too easy. It's like it's going back to that whole thing of drop troops, force close. It's that culture that Boom Beach has sort of bred itself these days, where people are just so used to not having to actually think and not actually having to play with a strategy, that when you do actually need a strategy, they haven't got one.
You've forgotten how to develop.
You've forgotten how to develop it. You've forgotten how to read it and how to actually how to play in that respect. So I think personally, Supercell have played an absolute blinder this season and caught a lot of people off guard. That's what I think.
I was just getting really narked yesterday that I couldn't get any up.
I know. That's what I mean. And I was with you. Until I had that conversation with Pang.
Yeah. No,
That's when I sort of went ding, and I thought, do you know what? Actually,
I've had my mind changed to a degree. It's, I suppose, ultimately, like I said, it was the fact that I was being too stubborn to go and get the tools that I needed to progress at the stage I wanted, because I had all my eyes set on that note. It's like, we'll get those chests.
See, Severance got it. I agree with Severance. I'd rather have the challenge than it be too easy, then I'd get bored. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dyson Lynn? Welcome to the stream. Tag Prince main game hasn't got changes in years. Warships is like monthly balance changes, which keeps things interesting. It is kind of like that. It's not really balance changes because the troops now are all still the same. That's why every season people go for the same troops and the same strategies because.
Mike Wells says next season when it's a base race and we're barting ERs out and battles last 20 seconds.
Scully coming in with a $20 super chat. Big shout out to you, Scully. Thank you for that.
Oh, Scully.
Who did that?
That didn't happen. Cheers, Scully.
My message didn't even show up yet. No worries, man. Cheers, man.
I would say it should do, but everything's broken tonight. I don't think alerts are even going to work.
Oh, okay. Pretty much, I said in the message, I was like...
Let me see if I can send it through.
I was like, okay, actually a decent season. Smiley face.
Oh, yeah, I can see it on my thing. I don't think the alert will play.
Another one from Polecat. The genius of Supercell is that you have had a stream of over an hour of discussion and debate and no live attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Martin?
Polecat has just said the genius of Supercell is that you've had a stream of over an hour of discussion and debate and no live attacks. Yeah. I think he's fishing for Aaron to do a live hit.
You got no hope. Scotty just come in with another one. Oh no, it's because I repeated it. It's my bad.
Should be the same one unless my
it's because I've pressed repeat in Streamlabs. It hasn't come through. I can't find my.
Skull Crusher's now skin.
No worries, man. Technical, the technical difficulties, not even just today, like in general, have just been so wanky.
Like I said, everything is broke. I couldn't get your face cams to work. If you look underneath the live chat, I don't think the live chat's even moving. It hasn't moved all night on screen because it's still the very start of the stream, the chat.
Mark Breezy says, personally, I'm taking a 3-week holiday this season, 3-week vacation this season.
Fair enough. The tip ticker underneath the chat, that's not moving. The latest sub here, that's not working. The latest super chat one over there should have changed when Aaron Slowinski sent his £10 one. That isn't moving. Total subs is stuck on 5132. We're actually up at 5137 or 139 or something like that. So yeah, all of my widgets, everything in my OBS thing is broke.
It's all broke.
I did a real number on it the other day. I got I'm gonna have to delete it.
You think yourselves lucky, chat, that you've got a stream at all.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to try and reinstall OBS over the top of it, and hopefully that fixes it. Because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to wipe it and start again.
I was just saying, I was just thinking. I hope you don't have to wipe it clean and then rebuild your scenes.
I've got backups anyway. I've got backup JSONs anyway, so even if I got to do that, even if I got to delete the whole thing, I can literally just drag and drop one file into OBS and it'll rebuild it all for me. Like,
I don't know what's going on, but I mean, like, we're feeling it everywhere. Like, if any of the viewers are from Canada, you guys know what I'm talking about. We literally had no internet at all. Well, I'm kidding. Just anyone with Rogers. But, yeah, no, weird stuff going on, buddy. Weird stuff going on.
Yeah, it is.
She says next season we need Seekers at 2ER. See how people enjoy that.
Actually, that would be great.
Seekers as an opening troop. That would be awesome.
I'd be well up for Seekers as an opening troop. I love Seekers.
Everybody to learn them.
Everybody would win. It would be like 10-second battles. They'd have to give us like shock mines and shock launchers off the bat.
Yep. Roger sucks. What's going on, Lolo? We got a lion so excited in the chat.
What's up,
What's going
Lolo?
on?
This man says, I bet if I joined Frontlines, I could get Aaron to do some hits.
Fez, we all know you're going to download Frontlines. We all know you're gagging for it.
You know what? I know we're talking warships here, but I'm actually I got to get back into Frontlines as well. I want to start streaming that again soon. I mean, I know we're not getting into it right now, but yeah, they've got the ads now literally blasted all over YouTube. So like they're getting it out there.
It's coming, Pete. It's coming.
They're getting it out there.
Beamy Stop Motion, how you all doing? What's up, man?
Expect
Good to see you.
Expect some announcements in that regard soon.
This is the Boom Talk streams that we were talking about on my last live stream. I was talking to you about our podcast that we do. This is it. So welcome to it.
Not played it for about 2 months. No.
Not as slick as it normally is, but
yeah, no, I probably should have. Yeah. I will fix it tomorrow or delete it tomorrow, one or the other. So yeah, I think for what's the status on the poll? Let's have a look. We are at 57-43 in favour of the base race seasons.
Is that because we are in a middle of a fizzle season?
I think that's probably. I think if we were in a really easy season right now, and we weren't really struggling and stuff, and we asked the same question, I think people would vote for a more challenging season. So
I think so.
I think that's, again, it's a bit subjective and a bit situational, but I don't know. I think more people are going to prefer to have some challenge, but also have a few easy ones mixed in as well. Trash, he says. Trash.
Like this trash. That's right. Forbid us forever to mention that word on this channel. We love you, Fez. I love you, Fez.
Is it about warships or what? Yeah, it's about warships. Oh, is that what that was about? I thought you were asking what this season is. Yeah, no. Which one you prefer? Which one you'd prefer to do? Base race seasons or a defensive heavy season where fizzles are the order of the day?
No, see, we're talking about warships and the sort of state that we're in after 2 weeks, and have Supercell made a mistake, or is it actually quite a good design because it's teaching people to think differently, think outside of the warships box, not relying on.
Well, maybe something to consider as well is maybe for Supercell, like on their end, for the game developers, to maybe not give us 10, 11 seasons in a row where we're dealing with base race seasons, and then give us a fizzle season. Maybe balance out the seasons a little more.
Would you like to see? Would you like to see it as base race, defensive,
two base race seasons, then a defensive, 2 base races, then an offensive, or kind of vice versa?
Yeah, I think that would favour the non-IT players as well, wouldn't it? It's 2 and 1, 2 and 1. Really.
Is a question for you then. Do you think when Supercell put the tree together, when the devs put the tree together, do you think they know that this is going to be a fizzle meta, this is going to be a base race meta, this will be the winning troop? If somebody, do you think that they think like that? They've kind of got.
Honestly, I don't think they got Scooby-Doo when it comes to that sort of thing.
I'd love to touch it for 1 second here. At this point, if they've got game developers that are developing our tech tree, and after 36 seasons, if the game developers haven't figured out that, late troop health, will cause backlash, then no, maybe, I don't know. This is what I'm like, clearly they don't play the game when they do this, but then it's like, maybe they do play the game and they're just giving us the most, ultimate challenge of our lives.
Yeah.
Maybe.
which if we had dev videos, if we had videos,
if we had some input from the dev team, Maybe if we had their
Or-
opinion
yeah.
once in a blue
Or at
moon,
least-
or their
or at least
perspective
let-
just once, maybe we'd be able to draw a better conclusion. But until that
We
day
could
happens,
At
certainly-
least let Shishka Bobber look at it and oversee it, because honestly, like, he killed his tech tree, very logical, very balanced. And then we get, season 36 where we're just like, well, what the hell is this kind of thing?
run away.
Yeah, I mean, like, get somebody. Like, I know content creators aren't going to be making the tech tree. I know that thing with Shishka was a one-off, which worked. It worked, and there was great community feedback. And even Supercell has taken his ideas, with the rabbit holes and some of the tech trees, and also the multi-nodes with the different defenses, the 2 rocket launcher, shock launcher kind of thing. So I don't know, maybe just get more feedback, before they make it. I don't know. What do you guys think? If
Yeah,
one person's making it and it's like, okay, it's done, then it's like, okay. One person made it and looked at it, then they put it on the dev build for the content creators to look at it, and then we're like,
I think
how many of us, Aaron, in our sneak peeks right off the bat, were like, one TH,
Wow.
this is gonna be a bad
Mate,
season.
as soon as I seen the tech tree, I literally sat and went, "Oh, it's going to be one of them seasons." And then I looked at it a bit closer and I was like, "Oh my god, it's so broken. Are they going to fix it all in time?" That was my next thing, and it was literally right. It was right up until the day before. Literally within hours of the season starting, things were still being fixed behind the scenes, for things that were buggy on the dev build. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm not saying this just because I'm one of them. I mean, I don't even think my input would be that constructive or that that useful as such. But I think the creators, the boom tubers that are in the trusted circles, I think we are a very under-tapped resource. I think they should be, developing their tech tree ideas as a team, at Supercell HQ, and then show the creators and say, right, what do you think? Get some feedback from us.
They don't do that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If they did, I think Warships would be tenfold
One of the
better.
things that I've always sort of felt is that it seems to me that Boom Beach is played by, and the content creators are, I would say, middle-aged but more mature guys, men, as opposed to
Children.
kids.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you said, there's the potential to tap into that resource there, because you guys, you are sensible. You can put constructive comment forward. It's not just going to be a bitch fest of teenage and young 20-year-olds moaning about what they want. They're going to get constructive input from the likes of yourself, Scully, Shish, Op, Zedmart, Cosmic. These guys have been playing the game for years.
Yeah.
They're not so immature that they're just going to go, oh, it's crap, you should give us all this, or give us all, a free IT for everyone. You're not going to get that, because, you all understand that Supercell is a business and they're there to make money. But, it's just the way I see it. I just think they're missing a trick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, I think if they just literally spend, have a 24-hour period where they just showed the tech tree to the creators and said, what do you think? And then, us guys could just, have a comment on it, say, yeah, it's good, yeah, it's bad, what about this, what about that? Then they could go back to it and revise it and then put it out. Just to have that little bit of unbiased opinions to not just things that will benefit yourselves. Yeah, there is an element of people saying that, the creators could influence it better themselves. I get that, there is that, and that very much happened before, and I do actually agree with you. Maybe that shouldn't be a thing, but I still think it's an untapped resource where they should be getting some input from the players, whether it's the creators, whether it's everybody, whether it's the entire community. Maybe they come up with 2 or 3 different tech tree options and they put it up for a vote. I don't know, but they're not tapping into the resources they've got.
Oh, cool. Yeah. We're still waiting for Scully to do his gummy bear challenge, so you're not going to see a tech tree anytime soon.
Did he actually say that?
He said no Scully tech tree. That's what I said.
And you said that.
We're still waiting for your gummy bear challenge.
I'm like, shush! Don't even mention gummy. No kidding. Those things don't go bad, do they? I mean, one day.
Don't do it, Scully. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Don't do it.
Kidding, hey. Your first trip to Canada just to force feed me the gummy bear. I love it.
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Oh, too good.
So come on, chat. What do you think? Do you think it's a case of like we've said that the community is just so over pampered and has had it too easy for too long that now that Boom Beach is, for a change, is actually a little bit of a challenge and needs a little bit of out of the box thinking, that people are just, too stuck in their ways and have made a few mistakes? Or do you think Supercell really screwed the pooch and ruined this season?
As much as it pains me to say it, I think you're right. I think that we have been pampered for too long. I think that this season means that we've actually got to think about what we're doing rather than just progressing through the tree and opening the standard nodes. And to that end, I am going back to look at my tree and look at my accounts, see what we can do for this season. So look out for a TGBM experiment on one of my accounts on the next stream.
Watch that be like the unforeseen secret meta that just.
And he plays like global number one.
Legendary on one, yeah. But do you remember when Amy did it? When she had, what was it? We had tanks.
Yeah, that was a tank season. I don't know what made that season a tank season.
She had, was it Sparky?
Yeah,
Sparky
it was Sparky
tanks.
Critters. Actually,
that was a Fizzle season as well, was it not?
I'll tell you what season it was. I've got a short actually.
Pretty sure that was a Fizzly season as well.
That was about a year ago.
It was a Fizzle season. Hold on. Captain Everspark hacks 3 boom cannons and season. What season was this? Season doesn't tell me.
Yeah, too easy for too long, but we're not all top players, so we only hit Diamond every season. I've not hit Legendary for some time. Do you know, I think a lot of people haven't hit Legendary since they changed the star system. And that even goes for like some of the top players as well. Even those guys are struggling to get into Legendary because of the...
I've only hit it twice since they've changed the star system.
Yeah, I haven't hit it at all since then, but I haven't really played it since they changed the star system. Them changing the star system is when I stopped playing Warships because it ruined it for me. Exclamation mark, screw the
I don't remember what
long
season
seasons
that
are
was,
slow,
but...
boring, and unforgiving. More frustrating than fun. See, that's a good point, actually. Maybe there's an element of that as well, which is amplifying this season and making it a little bit worse.
Yes, I make you right there, Falcor.
Because the season is now dragging on, and it's taking so long to get... Even when you get chest, you need more chest to unlock tech because it's a longer season. I think that's probably an element too. I think if they're going to do a Fizzle season, then it needs to be a shorter season so that you can get through the tech tree that little bit quicker to make it feel less frustrating. I think that's probably a good shout. I haven't hit Ledge yet. Came so close to top 500 though. Nice. That's what I mean. You can be top 500 and not being legendary. You know, but it's back in the day that would never have happened. Before the star change, that would never have happened. People were getting to legendary on like the second and third day. That's why they implemented the locks on the.
I never got Leg X on those seasons where they were like where the season to get them was to get them, but I did get Leg 8 that season though.
I think I got to 7 or 8 was my highest on my breaker
which is still
account.
Pretty crazy to think about that. You know, going back and looking when you were playing as a Leg 4, a Leg 5, a Leg 6 player. Now these are just pipe dreams. Like nobody ever gets past Leg 2, Leg 3.
I don't think we'll ever see another player hit Legendary X. I don't think that day will ever come. That's not going to ever happen again.
Which sucks because we totally missed our chance.
I know, right?
When I was putting the calculator together and I was doing the rewards at like leg 5, 6, 7, I thought to myself, you know, when are we ever going to see? I don't think leg 4 is about the highest I think we've seen since they changed.
I think you're being too generous. I think it's like 3, but yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like I said, that was when I stopped playing ships. That when they changed the star system and it becomes such a grind, I don't like the grindy feel to it. Johnny Das is in chat. What's going on, Rec? I'd rather have a Fizzle season, only 6 or 7 ER meta, because that's when people come up with creative attacks, somewhat tech. becomes even, but not before that. Supercell can't expect us to spend 3 hours to get 3 chests, 3 to 5. Yeah, I agree.
And that point has been brought up a few times in the chat. Like, I don't want to spend 2 to 3 hours, to collect my chests. And
That's
I
exactly
get that,
Nailed it,
right?
Johnny. Absolutely nailed it. That's what motivated the stream. That's what started the stream. I agree with you, with Pang, that it's great to have the challenge, but 3 hours to collect a chest, 5 hours to collect.
That's
a chest.
ridiculous, isn't it? It's not. That's not a good player experience. Doesn't matter how good of a player you are, that and how much you love warships. That's not a good player experience. That's what they need. That's what they need to work on. They need to make sure that that's not going to be a factor in future seasons.
I was so angry with it yesterday.
It shouldn't feel like a chore. It should never feel like a chore.
I was so angry with it yesterday. I made Johnny Daz look like Coco the Clown.
Oh, jeez.
He was fuming yesterday. But yeah, I think
You'd have been proud, Rec.
I think having the Fizzle seasons are a good thing. I think we should see more of them. Makes people think out of the box more. It's it certainly gets people talking about it more. That's for sure. But like you said, you shouldn't be spending 3 hours to get a chest, to get the hours to get a chest. That's ridiculous. That's not a good player
Nobody got
experience.
time for that.
Exactly. So they need to work on it. That if they're going to do a Fizzle season, one, it should be a shorter season, so that you can progress through the tree a bit quicker to get to the more effective tech. Get out of those situations where you're having to grind longer to get chests because of damage percentages and not getting the ERs. If you can get out of those situations faster, it'll be less frustrating. But if they would work on those things and make those changes, I think these seasons would be a lot more popular.
I'm sorry. I'm curious if McLovin is sympathetic for any players there. Bad tech tree choices equals you can't get any ERs in 3 hours.
And yeah, there is an element to that. That's what we were saying.
Absolutely, yes.
It is down to your decisions and what you decide to unlock from the tree and stuff. There is an element of that. And if you suck at warships and your decisions suck, then your season's gonna suck. It's sucky.
Amen to that. Yeah.
That's just how it is, But yeah, I think we've hit the nail on the head tonight. I think what we've come up with is a fair assessment. I think
that Pang comment or the Pang topic of conversation was like the changing point for me.
The pivot moment. That's what I said. As soon as he said it earlier, I was like, "Wow, he's just killed all of my arguments of why the game sucks tonight. Have now been killed because of Pang." Should have muted him, shouldn't I?
I'm happy you brought that talking point up because I'm if anything, fellas, I'm disappointed in myself as
changes your perspective.
Veteran warship player. I should have known this. I should have been like, no, this is a challenging season.
It makes you kick yourself. Yeah. Whereas if you'd have thought, if we'd have had this season, back in the day of warships, you would have looked at it differently and gone, right, no troop health, 100% building health. Just those two factors on their own means it's going to be a grindy season. We're going to be losing lots of troops, so we're going to need strategies that are, low, that have got low fatality rates, low fatality troop combos to be able to grind into these bases and get these ERs. That's like the logical sense. It's the logical thinking process to a strategy game. You work those things out, but when you've been stuck in your ways for so long, have been having it so nice and having, particular strategies rammed down your throat for so long, it makes you blind to it, doesn't it? I think Pang really did, hit the nail on the head.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. And I agree. Now, I do think it's a good season. I mean, if to be completely honest with you fellas, it's still a 50-50 split for me. I see where the complaining is coming from for the lack of troop health, for the no IT. I know what you're going to say, McLovin, but then I also see it from the experienced warship player who is asking for a challenge and has been given a challenge. Yep. And now how do we overcome this challenge?
Yep.
Yes.
Choice you said. How about you get rewarded for ERs not taken? We only get credited for ERs that we take down. How about the ones that are defended? That should go towards ERs to chests. Shisk said that a couple of seasons, said that in the past. I remember you saying that. I was going to mention that earlier and it's actually slipped my mind. So big shout out to you. So what he's saying is, if you go into a battle and you don't clear, say you clear 3 of the guys' ERs, and the guy only clears 3 of 4 of yours, the 1 ER that he didn't clear would go towards your next chest. So the ERs that you manage to defend successfully would count towards your next chest, as well as the ones that you take down from the battle itself. Which is, I think that in itself would combat the grindy, frustrating factor to these Fizzle seasons, because you wouldn't, the whole faith in the base thing would become huge straight away. But just play devil's advocate. Would that not create, or would that not encourage more defensively, more defensive strategies generally across all seasons? That more defenses you have, the more fast you're going to get your chests, and I don't know if there's like a downside to that. What do you think?
You're not going to progress in levels. That's this. Only stars can give you level progression. So you've got to go for the wins to get the stars to progress in levels to get those.
There's that, yeah.
Rank chests.
But what it means is you'd never get stuck in the situation where,
like I was yesterday.
Yeah, where you can't, where you're
8 ERs.
Where you're defending so well that people are fizzling before getting a single ER. That as long as you had a good layout as well, you'd be in the same situation. But your ERs that you defend against. If you were at 6 ER and someone fizzled and left all 6, that'd be 6 ERs towards your next chest. Even if you didn't get one of theirs, you still earned 6 because you defended. So you'd never have that frustration of having to do stupid amount of battles for hours on end just to get your next chest.
I think I can see a couple of drawbacks to that. Just thinking about, great idea, love the idea, but hypothetically speaking, you go into a battle against somebody who loses a connection at 6 ER, you clear their 6 ERs, they don't clear any of yours, so net, you've gained 12 ERs.
Yeah. There are downsides to it, yeah.
It possibly opens it up to a little bit more of exploitation.
Possibly, yeah.
Shall we say
among
the
friends.
Less scrupulous members of the
among
community.
Friends.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, I like the idea.
Yeah.
Next step, update the service.
The next step, update service. Yep. Just an update would be nice.
And that's Jenga right there.
Yeah, just an update would be nice. I don't care whether you do it on the servers or on the live build, whatever it is, just an update would be nice. Just an update about an update. Update the community. Update the players about what's coming in the next update. Just
They're updating the snack machine in the canteen, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mike brings up a good point.
Mike brought up a good point. Let's have a look.
The Chinese would just match each other, instant retreat, and get 4
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Covered that.
Yeah. The ER should only count if damage is done to the base. Yeah, again, but that's still exploitable. You just retreat for each other, innit?
I think there's something there, but
There
needs.
There is. It just needs. The idea is solid. It just needs refining. It just needs polishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we've covered it anyway. I think we've done well tonight. I think it's been an interesting eye opener. How many people in chat come into the stream tonight with the impression that the game was stupid and the way it is was wrong, but is going away tonight thinking, do you know what? Actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually all right. Maybe this is.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah,
maybe it's. I'm starting to think that maybe it is me.
Maybe it's a little bit of me. Maybe it's a little bit of the game. Maybe it's a little bit of it all. Maybe Pangtastic was right. As much as it hurts to say it, maybe Pang was right. Interesting stream. Thank you, Roy. Thanks for the stream. No result. Thanks for coming out, bud. Yeah, refining exactly. I mean, the core idea is solid. It just needs, it needs the mechanics of it working out, sort of behind the scenes, so it can't be exploited. But yeah, for sure. But I think, is there anything else you guys want to cover? Do you think we've missed anything or anything?
No, I mean, I think there's been so many good talking points throughout the stream here, and there's there's been so many good point of views as well. And overall, I think we covered what needed to be said. We know why we like it, we know why we don't like it, and now it's just essentially it's subjective. It's up to you as the individual as to how you're going to approach warships and play this season. And if you're going to choose tech that is going to ultimately end in you fizzling more than getting engine rooms, then unfortunately you might have to deal with that until things start getting better. So yeah.
Catch you later, Severance. Thanks for coming out, bud.
Congratulations to Op Destroy, finally hitting Diamond. Well done, man.
GG stickers in the chat for Op. So yeah, guys,
job,
that's
Mike Wells. Just quickly, Mike Wells threw a comment in saying he wants a 1 week quickfire season, 60 keys in gold and 75 keys in diamond. I think that would be clutch. A 1 week or possibly even 10-day season where chest rewards were huge.
The meta would literally change every 8 hours on the dot.
Yeah. Every time somebody opens a chest, it would change. Like,
for streamers, for content creators, that would be liquid gold.
Oh mate, yeah. Even I would play and stream that season.
We'd literally have 24/7 streams going, wouldn't we? Yeah. Between us all, that would be absolute mint.
So just for the sake of rounding things off,
the calculator handle it?
we've had 78 votes. Handle it. We've had 78 votes on the poll, and coming in at 57 to 42 in favour of the base race seasons. But like I said, I think that's like skewed a little bit because we are in a fizzle season and people aren't enjoying it. But Mike says, tell Supercell I'll do the tech tree. Okay, pass that on.
We'll pass it on, no problem.
Yeah, mate. Consider it done. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for tonight, I think. We'd all have to get out of our first chest like immediately. IRL fishing stream, please. We actually did that once before, McLovin. Me and Martin played crab from Lakeside. You remember that, Martin? We took turns, didn't we?
We tried.
Yeah, we took turns doing 5 stages each at a time.
That was a laugh at. We should do that again sometime.
Yeah, but yeah, Scully, as always, been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much, Scully.
This was a really fun one, guys, just because there was, like I said, there were so many good talking points, and definitely looking forward to our next one. Hopefully when, we've got the tech working more in our favor, with regards to getting our face cams up there, but no biggie. No. Aaron, you killed it, man. Absolutely crushed it. Great job hosting it. And of course to the viewers as well, guys, always a pleasure having you guys in the chat as well. Obviously without you being here, this wouldn't be what it is. So, thank you everyone for tuning in today.
Shout out to Aaron Lewinsky and yourself, Skull Crusher, for the donos during the chat. Thank you very much.
That's a real quick point. Just, I don't know if it's even going to work. I'm going to try, but we've got the prize wheel back. So let's. No, it's not.
It's broke. You know it's going to be broke.
Hey, what you wanted to try?
I wanted to try. Like I said, all of my widgets now are broke. I don't know what's happened to it because they were all working earlier. I was testing it earlier. It was working fine earlier. So, like I said, my OBS is gone down the pupper at the moment, but I'll get it fixed. Can I do a season 69, please? Let's all do this again during the HC Rush season.
Yeah.
You're all legend ranked to me, boys. Big shout out to you, McLovin.
Oh, you're the true legend, McLovin. Thank
you're the real
buddy.
OGs out there, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been a pleasure, as always. But for now, we're going to sign off. We're going to leave you to it. Happy shipping, guys. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you on the seas.